What's going on, everyone? It's Mike back again here with John. And before we start, I want to mention two things from yesterday, John, if you don't mind. Two lovely things that happened yesterday. So Finley had a little bit of heat stroke yesterday. So he was sitting in his seat in the paddock. He was struggling. We'd left his hat in the car. Well, we hadn't. Finley left his hat in the car. So about 13, 14 minutes into the game, I sprint out of Goodison, grab his hat, and the stewards let me back in. But when I got in, a steward, number 6, Michelle, she literally handed me a bottle of water for him. She come over and made sure he was all right. He was all right. And I just thought that was really, really nice of that. And I know it's part of a job as a steward, and I know they have to look after the fans, and especially the younger ones. But it was just really, really nice that she literally went behind, got him a cold bottle of water, made sure he was all right, got him to his seat, etc. It was just lovely. So big shout out to Michelle there, the steward. And I also want to thank a couple that I didn't take their names. But when we got into the stadium, obviously I was with Harriet and Finn yesterday, and we were talking, we were having a beer, and this couple come over to me and asked for a photo, which was very nice. And it's I never quite know how to deal with it. But they were saying sorry for interrupting me and Harriet, and I just wanted to say, look, if anyone wants a picture with John or me, and equally just want a couple of minutes of our time, we literally don't have a problem speaking to anyone. You guys are absolutely what this channel is about. So please, never, ever think that you can't speak to us or you can't interact with us, because we don't see you as fans of the channel. We see you as fellow fans of Everton. We're not special. We're not on a pedestal. I'm not some celebrity, and John definitely isn't. My God. So please don't ever think that we haven't got time for you in that sense, because we have. And I was really, really grateful and really humbled yesterday. So I just wanted to say thank you to everyone that came up and had a chat. But that specific couple, please never worry about coming and speaking to us, and we're always available. And John loves the picture. He'll sign anything as well. He'll love it.
Can I just add something to what you've just said there? You definitely didn't sprint. You definitely didn't sprint, because I'm not being funny. You haven't got a sprint in you. I've seen you play football, but you lied about that bit.
You're a dickhead, man. Is that all you've got to add as well? I thought you were going to go stewards and all of that.
No, listen. I used to work at Everton, so I know what the stewards are like. I worked there many, many years ago, probably David Moyes' era. And listen, our first thought of call, and we always get told, this is the fans are the number one priority. If anyone's in trouble, anyone's struggling, look after them, make them your first port of call before anything else. And what that steward done yesterday was absolutely fantastic. And that's Everton Football Club for you.
Fair enough, John. And what Everton did yesterday in that first half was not so fantastic in that first half. Let's talk about the team first of all. I'm not gonna stick it on you, but I'll give you my opinion and see if you agree. But Decore should have been nowhere near that starting 11 yesterday, and I was actually shocked he started him. Bearing in mind he's played barely any minutes in pre-season, and when he has, he's looked awful.
So before we talk about Decore, there was some good moves in the. I mean, I think something like Roma had the first 10 minutes. He had 100% possession, couldn't get the ball off them. But then after that, there was some good football down the right-hand side. Might have only lasted 5-10 minutes. I thought there was some good moves, yeah. And then it did fizzle out because Roma come back into it. Decore, we spoke about him quite a bit lately. Towards the end of last season, he was nowhere near on the level that we have seen Decore. I mean, remember we were struggling the season when we beat Palace, and we've struggled the season before that. He stood up to the plate, Decore, and he really, really stood up. Towards the end of last season, and pre-season when we've seen him, and his head's not in it. And I don't know if he's thinking, because of the players we've brought in, his place is under real danger. Now, he should work one or two ways there. He could step up to the plate and go, well, these players aren't going to get my place. Or has he really got it in him anymore? And I think it's that one now. And I text you yesterday, Michael, I didn't go to the game yesterday while you were in the game. What the F is Decore doing there? There was one passage of play where we had the ball and Decore had it. And he tried to flick it over one of the Roma's players onto one of our players. And it went horribly wrong. And I think they broke with the ball after that.
They did.
And I looked at him and I thought, what are you doing? What I think they were my words to you. What is Decore doing?
Yeah.
And, and I think we seen that towards the back end of last season. And when we seen him yesterday and in other games we've seen him, his head's not in it. I don't get it, because Decore was one of them players probably 18 months, 2 years ago, where we probably relied on, to get us through it and to pull us through, to play behind that striker, because we said he was better playing behind Calvert-Lewin. I actually don't know what he's actually doing at the minute, because I'm telling you now, when he was going through that phase where we were looking at him behind Calvert-Lewin and we were asking him to pull us through them games, I'm not seeing that player anymore, Michael. I'm not. No. And I don't know. There's players in that squad now, in my opinion, who could easily step in and do the job that Decore was asked to do, but do it better and add more. And I will say the name, and we're probably going to talk about him, Tim. Everyone knows on here, I can't say his surname. I'm not going to try. But Tim has come in and he's probably going to do the job that Decore and Onana have been asked to do in the past, but do it better and do it more to his capabilities, better than them two players have done from what we've seen in seasons gone by. As a whole, he can do what they've been asked to do, but he can do more as well. And I'm impressed by this player in pre-season massively. For £9-10 million, that's a snippet. If he can take that into the Premier League season, what a buy we've got.
Oh, so I was going to mention him, but I was actually going to mention him in a run of play that happened yesterday. So in the first half, he wins the ball from, I don't know who it was, for Roma. He wins the ball. He beats two men and he lays it into Decore just softly. Decore passes it straight back to our centre half. He doesn't try and turn with it. He doesn't try and go forward with it. He doesn't look left to his right. He literally passes it back to, I think it was Jake O'Brien. And all that hard work that Tim had done in winning the ball, carrying it 20 yards, was all undone like that. And there was moments in the game yesterday where Decore would get the ball into feet. His passing was woeful. We've criticised his passing before, so look, and I'm not going to criticise Decore when he's on it. When Decore is on it, he's always looked like a bit of a bulldozer, a lad that will just carry the ball, and he's got the energy and he's got the work rate. But as you rightly say there, John, it actually looks like two issues for me. One, maybe he's not going to be at the club. Maybe he kind of knows that. Maybe he knows his place is under threat, and I think he's spot on. And the other one is, when he looks at the players around him now, they're all technically better than in literally every aspect, close control, his ability to carry the ball, ability to dribble, ability to shoot. They're all better. And the one player that I want to mention as well, Jake O'Brien. Now, I thought Jake O'Brien had a good game yesterday. And
I actually thought, just before you carry on, thought he looked a bit shaky the first 15-20 minutes.
Yeah. So I thought he had a good game yesterday, apart from the first 10 to 15 minutes and the goal we conceded. because I don't think he does a good enough job at following his run. And I also don't think our midfield closes down that ball. There's no way that we should be conceding a goal. A Sean Dyche team should be conceding a goal from a simple ball over the top. So it is what it is. And I think that's something that he needs to think about, because I also remember Branthwaite getting done with it early on in his Everton career as well. So it does happen. They are young players, and no issue.
Listen, and before you carry on, sorry for interrupting, but you're leading on to everything you say of what I wanted to talk about, because we spoke on here, Michael, about defensively, we'll always be strong under Sean Dyche. Midfield looks a lot better, and we've spoke about up front. But yesterday, they got in too easy behind for me. There was balls played over the top yesterday. Jake O'Brien looked very shaky the first 15, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, as you quite rightly say. But they're things that can be ironed out. And as you quite rightly say, we've seen it with Jarrod Branthwaite. Look at the player he's become. So Sean Dyche has ironed them mistakes out with Jarrod Branthwaite now. And I think he will with Jake O'Brien. With no way, shape or form are we having a pop at Jake O'Brien. Probably nervous. First game at Goodison Park, friendly or no friendly, whatever it was. I'm confident that defensively we will be okay. We will. I just thought yesterday, listen, we played Roma, who were going to be playing in European football, a world-renowned football club who've won trophy after trophy after trophy. It was a good test for Everton yesterday. But they did find it easy to get in behind us until Everton and the midfield with the players that we've brought in clicked. And I thought then Everton were the better team.
Yeah, and I agree. And I also think as well, part of the Jake O'Brien thing is look at the step up. He was playing against a striker for Roma who, not loads of people are going to know too much. But he's a very, very talented centre forward. He's big, he's strong, he's fast. He knows where the goal is. He proved it.
He's all-round centre forward, him.
Yeah, you've got players like Loren. Who scored the Roma goal? What's his name? Oh my God! It's going to drive me mad. Whoever scored the Roma goal. He's got a famous dad. We didn't quite know how to contain there.
But not to deal with it.
Yeah, exactly. And Angelino as well. He got down the left-hand side quite a lot. The left back, very quick, short, pacey. Had a bit about him. I just thought at times that when Roma had the ball and was snapping, then one-touch pass football, snap, 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 they outplayed Everton. They outplayed us because they just could play through us. Yeah. But it's something that when you look at an Everton team that's made 5 changes in terms of personnel over the summer, yes, Jack Harrison was there last season, but we still managed to get a 1-1 draw. We still scored a good goal, which we will talk about in a minute. We did still, in my opinion, outplay them in the second half, and we will talk about the substitutions that Dyche made in a minute. But for me, I actually think moving into that second half, we look a better attacking team now than we do defensive team. Last season, we played a low block and long ball. Yesterday, we played counter-attacking football and carrying the ball through the middle. And I thought we looked so much more better doing that way than we did with the long balls at Corey, Calvert-Lewin, blah, blah, blah. You mentioned Tim. Let's talk about Tim. Tim, time after time after time, would win the ball and would carry the ball forward. Doesn't always work. He's a young lad, but he's got skill. He's got pace. He's got strength. He's shown me more in pre-season than Amadou Onana ever did. And I'm not sitting here saying he's a better player than Onana. I'm not going to sit here and say that yet. There'll be Villa fans that are going, "Are you joking me?" The facts are though, I don't remember Onana really picking up a ball, beating a man, and carrying it off, laying into someone who then plays a lovely little pass into another signing, who spins and pirouettes in the middle of the pitch and sticks it half a foot wide because the keeper saves it. I haven't seen Everton do that in so long. And whether it's the style of football, whether it's Tim, whether it's Dyche adapting to the players that he signed, whatever it is, that second half was a million times better. And Tim Ibrahimovic, what a signing he is.
Right, so what I'm going to say, going back to what you said about it was good football and we're flicking it round the Roma side and all that. You get that with Italian sides. Don't forget, as I said before, they're going to be playing European football. We're not used to playing against. There's not many teams in the Premier League who one touch pass, move past, look for the next pass, 3 passes ahead. We're not going to play teams like that. Not many teams in the Premier League. We come up against the Roma side who've done that to us. We struggled with it at first. But as you quite rightly say, and I said this on the video the other day, Sean Dyche wants to start playing out from the back, from the defence to the midfield, looking at the midfielders that he's brought in, which is bringing better impetus into the team. And you've just mentioned it there with the midfielders that we brought in now. Tim won a tackle, strong, won the ball back, looked forward. And I spoke about him just the day that we signed him. And you asked me, are you excited about the season? Are you excited about the signings we've made? And I said on here, he's the one that excites me. He's the one who's going to get my bum off my seat week in, week out at Goodison Park and the away games. We seen it yesterday. You're quite right in what you mentioned there. The ball was played into him. He pirouetted. Keeper made a good save. It was going in all the way. He left his boot. It was going in. The keeper pushed it wide. But you say about, is this the way Everton are going to play now? Back to the Sean Dyche interview that he said where he wants to play it out from the back and he wants to use the midfields that we brought in. Is he changing the way he wants to play? Has he got the players now that he wants to play that brand of football with? You're seeing that yesterday. You're seeing that yesterday. Lindstrom come on. You mentioned the second half. It was so much better. The second half, when you look at players who he brought it on, he brought in Dion, he brought Lindstrom on. You know, they're the sort of players who are going to try and fit into that mould Sean Dyche now wants to play. So it's exciting football, which takes the pressure off the defence. I have no doubt he will sort them defensive frailties out. Don't forget, you're playing against the Roma side and Italian side who are playing European football. As I said before, we're not playing against that every week. So defensively, I think we'll sort that. Going forward, how exciting is that? Tim winning the ball, looking for the forward pass, giving it to Ndiaye, pirouetting. Lindstrom's there. McNeil was in the game. Harrison, I thought, okay, first half, to be fair. So it's brilliant going forward. But we do have to talk about, again, the striking options. You know, it brings us on nicely to that now because the midfield for me is a mirror image, not a mirror image, a different image to what we've been used to with exciting footballers, positive footballers, but also a footballer in there now in Tim who can do everything, in my opinion. Yeah. Better than Onana. And I know you said there, Michael, that you didn't want to sit here and say he's as good as Onana. I'll say it now on here. He's going to be better than Amadou Onana. Everyone knows my thoughts on Onana. I've seen enough already from a young Tim in that midfield for an all-round midfielder that we wanted to see from Amadou Onana when we signed him. We wanted that. An all-round midfielder who could tackle, who could put a through ball, do a defence split and pass to the opposition. We didn't see it enough. We're going to see it from this kid. He's going to be a superstar for me. Him and Ndiaye are going to be, in my opinion, two of the best signings this football club has made for a good few years. Exciting signings.
Yeah, I don't disagree. And you mentioned the forwards. So I want to mention Beto first, actually. So Beto came on late in the game. I thought he did really well.
Yeah.
He was being manhandled. He was being pulled left, right, and centre. I mean, there was one moment he's in front of the paddock on the halfway line, and his shirt is literally being ripped off his back. The referee didn't give anything, by the way, yesterday. I thought the ref had a poor game, but he's literally having his shirt pulled off his back, and he's holding him off. He's strong, he's combative. He gets it back into midfield and he goes. He looked quicker, sharper, more aggressive, and prepared to battle it out. I was really, really, really happy that I saw that in Beto, because I must say I've struggled with Beto, and I'm not going to all of a sudden change my opinion in 10 minutes. 10 minutes of football, I'm not. But if that's the Beto that can hold the ball up and bring the better players around him, is in the technically better, the Ndis, the Lindstroms, the O'Neills, if he can hold the ball and bring them into play, I'm not as worried about starting Beto as I probably would have been. That's my opinion on Beto.
I'm not going to get massively excited, as you say, in a 10-minute cameo. I'm not. But what I liked about Beto yesterday, Michael, he was strong, and as you say, his shirt was nearly ripped off quicker than your missus' shirt when I'm with her. You know what I mean? When I get in bed with her. But he brought the better midfielders that we've now got in the team into play. He dropped back. He worked for the ball. He was strong in the tackle. He wanted the ball to lay it off to Ndai, to Lindstrom, to Tim, And then when he'd done his bit and he'd won it and he'd laid it off, he then bust a gut to get forward, to get into the box, to give them an option. And that's when his shirt was getting ripped off. Now, again, not on a 10-minute cameo, but if we could see that from Beto, and I've said this a few times on here, whether it be about the manager, whether it be about certain players, but if he could do that consistently, and he's actually had the kick up the arse, because I've seen reports today that Dyche isn't going to let him go because he really likes him, and apparently I was listening to Ian Snowden yesterday, he's worked so hard in training this pre-season, Beto. Apparently he's worked there. Sarah Halpin said the same thing. She was co-commentating with round the pitch with Snodge yesterday, and he's worked so hard. Maybe this is the Beto that we've all seen on YouTube, that we all excited about when Everton signed him. He's bringing the better players into play, and then he's laying it off, and he's getting into the positions. He worked hard yesterday. I'm not going to say he should be starting against Brighton, but if he can carry on with performances like that in 10-minute bursts and build it up and build it up and build it up to become the striker that we're going to be relying on, because there's other strikers there, and I'm not going to mention any names that we can't rely on to put performances in like that in a 10-minute burst, I would have no problem with giving him a run out, because I thought yesterday, sounds bad this, in a pre-season friendly, but that was probably his best 10 minutes in an Everton shirt.
Yeah, it was. Right, let's come on to Calvert-Lewin. Let's talk about the positives first. He took his goal really well yesterday. He did very well. He controls the ball well. He turns really well. He gets a really good finish off. And that Calvert-Lewin, that moment, is what we all want as Everton fans, because he's clearly capable of it. He clearly got it in his locker, and he showed it against, as you say, John, a very decent Roma team yesterday. However, what did you think of the rest of it?
I didn't think he worked hard enough. I thought he'd done brilliant for his goal. The ball was played forward. The defender was actually in front of him, Michael, and he muscled his way past him. And he got the ball and he pulled it back. Great finish. But then you've got the other side of Calvert-Lewin. He did have another chance, a one-on-one. He did have another chance, and the keeper made a save. And that's where he struggles for me. The first goal is what we like and what we're with Calvert-Lewin, as in being strong, pushing the defender off, getting in front of his man, pulling the ball back, slotting it in. It's not a one-on-one. When he's one-on-one, he had chance. I think the keeper pushed it up or something. That's where he struggles. It's not a consistent centre forward for me. If he could get the one-on-one side of it, we've spoke about his one-on-ones, Michael, for years on this channel. He's not good enough. When he's got time to think, his head falls off. When he's got to battle with a defender like he did yesterday, get in front of him, be strong, got the ball, bang, Great slide, great finish. Put it under the keeper into the corner. Brilliant, because he had something else occupying his mind. The something else was a defender. So he's thinking about that.
Yeah.
When he had the one-on-one and he's in the keeper there and he's just hit it, he struggles. If he could sort that side of his game out, he'd be very good. But he's done that for far too long now, in my opinion. But again, I'm not going to sit here and slag him off like I have in the past on the channel, because yesterday was a muscly, good finish by Dominic Calvert-Lewin. He was strong, as I say. He out-muscled the defender. He wanted that ball yesterday. He wanted that goal, and look what we got.
Yeah, he was up against some very strong and capable centre halves yesterday. So I'm almost going to give him. I'm going to give him a little bit of a benefit of the doubt in certain moments of the game. The one-on-one. So just before he gets his opportunity on that one-on-one, the football we played before that was exquisite, by the way. We carry the ball, we beat a man, we pass the ball in. It sort of runs through to him and he does try to dink the keeper. Now, I'm actually not going to criticise Calvert-Lewin for that effort, because I thought the keeper made a fantastic save, if I'm being honest. However, I do agree with the points that I don't feel like he's running enough. And I know that sounds silly, but I don't feel like he's trying to get down the channels, for example. Like yesterday, he had strong centre halves. So, in my opinion, I wouldn't be trying to pin them and try and play off them. I would be trying to play through the channels. So you've got somebody like O'Neill or Harrison whipping a ball in, and I'm running through on goal, rather than holding off the defender and turning and going. I don't think that was going to work yesterday. And whether this is an educational thing, whether this was just me being a fan, you've seen me play football, so I'd like you to think that I do think about things like that on a pitch, and I am nowhere near, obviously, a level of a Premier League player. So my point is, if I can think about those things on a pitch and about dropping 5 yards short in midfield so I can get the ball and turn, like I did, if you remember, in the charity game, little things like that, why isn't he?
But the thing is, Michael, you say that, and he was strong when he scored the goal against that big, strong defender. So why wasn't he asking for the ball to be played through the channels? Because he knew he could beat him. He knew he was strong enough to get in front of him and push him off. So he should have done, after that goal, that should have given him the confidence to go, right, you know what? Play it through. I've got him. I've got the beating of him there. I've already beat him once. Play it through. It's his work rate off the ball for me that worries me, Michael. He's not dropping short enough. He's not making himself available enough when he's got the ball. Oh, when the ball's played to him and the opposition's defender or midfielder gets in the front, we spoke about this and we've seen it against Coventry. Come back, chase the man down where the ball's gone to, win the ball back. That's the problem I have with Calvert-Lewin. He doesn't work hard enough to run from the centre forward position where the ball is being played to him. If it's being cut out by one of their defenders, chase him down, put him under pressure, make their defender play a stray pass or play it out so we get the throw in. The ball doesn't come to him, in my opinion. He gives up. He doesn't work hard enough to get back, to win it back.
I'm going to ask you a couple of questions then to wrap up on two players. So, deadline day. We've played Brighton, we've played Spurs, and we've played, I think it'd be Bournemouth. We've played them. Now deadline day. Is Decore and Calvert-Lewin Everton players?
I think Calvert-Lewin is. I have a sneaky feeling that Decore ends up in Saudi Arabia.
Right.
I don't know why. I just think he's being linked with a few clubs. Everton need to lower their asking price for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. But he also needs to lower his wage demands. Now, I picked someone up the other day, and take this how you want to see it, and we're not in the nose, as we've always said, but I did pick a fella up the other day, and he plays golf with Tom Davis's agent. He told me that Dominic Calvert-Lewin was very close to signing for Newcastle. The two clubs had agreed a fee. It was what he was demanding, wages that scuppered the deal. So he has to lower his wage demands, sign the contract at Everton, or he's going to see the last 12 months out at Everton on the wages he's at, and then we lose him for nothing. And that was from someone who plays golf with Tom Davis' agent. He didn't go to Newcastle because of what he's asking for.
Which is interesting, really, because there was a couple of murmurings that was the case as well. So that's concerning. Okay, well, listen, we move on to Brighton. The takeover stuff has been a bit weird, so I don't necessarily think we need to talk about it, but apparently John Textor is back interested in Everton. We haven't heard any more about the Kevin Malone bid or potential bid from America, and the Friedkin group, again, they pulled out on Roma. Whether they pull out and come back in, I don't know, but
I actually think Dan Friedkin takes over Everton Football Club.
Yes, so do I. And I have done since today. And the 777 and ACAP case today, all of the people in America, Josh Wander, several people of the 777 executive board asked for the case to be dismissed. Now, that won't happen. It's probably a delaying tactic. However, it doesn't create certainty. It actually creates more uncertainty because the process is going to take longer. But you do know where you are in terms of Everton at the minute. And I think there would be some form of agreement to be done with all of the other creditors, minus the 777, whatever. I think there would be some agreement to be put in place there. I'm interested to see what happens, but yeah, I agree. I do think it will be the Friedkin group that buy Everton, and I do think it could probably happen by January, to be honest.
You mentioned something the other week that 777 and ACAP were probably. I think you said they were sort of not looking after them, but stepping in with clubs that they've owned and all that, and sort of took over. And I think ACAP will sort the 777 side of it out now. Well, not now, but regarding Everton. And then I think that's when Dan Friedkin comes back in, because as we've both quite rightly said, he did walk away from Roma because of certain stipulations with loans and people who were owed money. That was sorted out. And I think Everton and Dan Friedkin will sort of follow the same path that he went down with Roma. And as we've just both agreed, I think the Dan Friedkin group will possibly own Everton by early next year. It's not going to be a quick process, because we've got to start again, because you're looking at loans, and obviously ACAP are now involved with 777 again, and the Friedkin group get involved with that. So it's a long, drawn-out process. And when you're looking at a deal that's probably going to cost $1 billion, 1.1 billion, it's not like me sending Michael a tenner. It's just, it takes time. So I think towards the end of this year or early next year, I still personally think Dan Friedkin owns Everton Football Club.
Cool. Right, we will leave it there. It's an exciting week. The Premier League is back this week. Everton take on Brighton at Goodison Park. Really looking forward to that. The match preview will be out, obviously, and any news videos will happen. John, thank you for your time. I appreciate it's late. This video is going out late, but you're going to love it, everyone. So make sure you hit the like and subscribe. Make sure you follow us on all socials. And more importantly, make sure you send a message to John's wife. It's been a pleasure as always. I'll see you soon. Peace.